Jessica Jones Episode 5, aka The Sandwich Saved Me. Now, this has probably been my favorite episode so far because not only do we get them actually, Killgrave gets attacked in this episode and he even gets captured, technically, even though, things kind of go bad from there. But not only does he get captured, but, Jessica, using her investigative skills, she tracks down everything that's going on, she figures out pretty much everything that happened, where the meetings are taking place, all of it. And we also get pretty sweet flashbacks, I think. I mean, it starts off, I think it said 18 months ago. So it starts off in the past. She's working this crappy job, clearly using her investigative skills back then, before she was about to get fired. Like, you know what? Why don't we talk about all this, money laundering that you're doing and all this other stuff? So that was really awesome. And then, it was just like her in the past. It was her hating her job still, because she hated the job she was at currently, but her and Trish, they were just good friends. They were just hanging out, and they would deal with certain issues like the guy at the bar and stuff. So it was really fun to watch that happen. Like, they were just really cool and hanging out, and it's like, all right, Jessica's going to become a superhero. They have a very awesome scene, and I wanted to make sure I remembered this, so I wrote it on my laptop. But they do mess around with her costume. And the silly stuff that they have, where it's like the white outfit with the blue and the big jewel, that's her original costume. That's Jessica Jones' original outfit from the comic books, and it's white with the blue lines, and then she has pink hair, like bright pink hair in the comics. So I thought that was awesome. It's no surprise. I was kind of waiting. I wasn't waiting for it. I wasn't even thinking about it, to be totally honest. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the original costume right there. And they all, I love when they do that, where they show the really old stuff and they always make fun of it. And Jessica says if I wear that, my superhero name would be like Camel Toe or something, and that was really funny. So I like the little callback, and just the references to the universe, always really cool. They had another one where there's a little kid dressed as Captain America, which I had to keep rewinding because I missed it the first time. But I glanced up at the last second and I was like, I'm pretty sure that was Captain America's shield. So I went back, and I kept having to do it because I did it, and then I looked at something else and missed it again. But it was a little kid dressed as Captain America for, no apparent reason. He was in a full-on costume, but whatever. They obvious reference there. So that was kind of cool that they threw that in. But it was a really good episode. We got, obviously, Trish and Simpson are a lot closer because there was just sex stuff happening in this episode again, so there's licking and penetrating. People are just doing whatever in this show. So it gets really adult. It's way more, in that regard, that's one of the things that makes it so much more mature than Daredevil, because no one's doing it in Daredevil. It's like, Froggy would love to be in this situation that the characters are in. Everyone's done somebody, it seems. So clearly they're together at this point, and things have kind of worked out between them. And, they team up as a trio to, go on this mission to get Killgrave. And ultimately, it does work. Their plan was totally fine. And the only thing that happened, unfortunately, is the fact that he was smart enough to know that they would come after him at some point. And so there's basically, just a crazy team of people that get hired to take him, to take him back to safety. And that's pretty much it. So none of those people are under control. They come in, cattle prods ready, basically, just shocking everybody. So it was a pretty cool fight scene. Trish got taken out, which she was not exactly happy about at all. And that combined with the fact that she'd done all this training and they just took her out, it has to be, she was mad to begin with, but I think it might have a bigger effect when the next big fight scene comes up, because she'd done all this training to make sure that she was safe from a situation just like that, and she was taken down, and so she kind of feels like crap for not being able to help. But it was an awesome fight scene. We got Simpson versus two guys, Jessica versus everybody else. She obviously can handle that, but it was really awesome. We got to see them kind of go back and forth between the two characters, taking on their enemies, and they were doing it, Simpson was the only one who actually kind of made it. I mean, he only fought two people, but for a normal, average human, well, I can't even say average human because of the whole Spec Ops thing and everything like that, but, he took on those two guys, he made it. Jessica eventually just got overwhelmed because you got like, even with super strength, unless it's like Hulk style strength or, you know, maybe Superman style strength, probably not going to be just knocking people back and forth. Maybe Luke Cage could have gotten out of that because the whole prod thing wouldn't have actually bothered him whatsoever. But like with her, if she gets overwhelmed too much, then it will have an effect and it'll mess with her. But I think with Luke Cage, something like being electrocuted, I don't know, because that goes way beyond just the skin. But if you have impenetrable skin, then I guess it wouldn't, because it wouldn't affect your nerves because it can't even get through your skin. So I don't know, but unfortunately it didn't work for her. He gets, they get Killgrave out of the back of the truck and they just take him away, and he wakes up. He's like, well, I don't know about you, but I'm really tired and stuff. And we get a pretty interesting ending. Once again, this guy is just creepy. Just everything about him is just bad and creepy. And so, in order to save her friend, to save this guy whose life was like completely destroyed, clearly, Jessica is now forced to send these pictures to Killgrave herself, like once a day. And she decides to do it, mostly because he helped himself. So, it's a little different. It's not like, oh, I gave you these drugs and now you're doing this. And so she didn't give a crap. Instead, it was like, alright, gave you the drugs, he threw them in the toilet. So, he helped himself and decided to kind of make it work. And so, she decided to keep working at it. Unfortunately, she would never want to do that, but to save someone, she does. And we find out that she actually saved the guy, and I totally can't think of his name. I'm trying to see if it's here somewhere, but it's not, and I don't remember the guy's name, but you know who I'm talking about, obviously. But, we find out through the flashback, oddly enough, when she first met Killgrave was actually right before, or right after she'd saved him. So he's on the ground, she totally saved his life, and it's like, boom, here comes Killgrave with these two women. And that's how it all began. It was just completely random. They just saw what she was doing. And he's like, you two bore me, leave. And then that's how it all began. And that was for 18 months, it said. So that's quite a while. That's a year and a half. And she did a ton of stuff she didn't want to do at the time. So I loved the flashbacks and how they played around with it. It was, we got a reference to the little costume. We got to see how she met Killgrave. We actually got to see that she saved her friend before, and he was like, you can't save me again. But she's helping him save himself, so that's pretty cool. And it kind of gives his character a role, which they, obviously showed at the end of the last episode. But this one had a nice focus on him, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I don't know if they'll even get the opportunity again, because that was like their big thing, was like, alright, we know how to get him. Unfortunately, he just hired like a dozen guys to just come tase everybody who kidnaps him. So sadly, it didn't work out. We did have another thing with Simpson though, because he's kind of broken down, and they had it in the last episode where he freaked out that he and Jessica were like kind of being watched when they were talking, and he kind of did it again where she's like, hey, he doesn't know anything. There's no point in torturing this guy, and he's like, no, I'm just gonna make sure, and basically I'm gonna like pop this guy's kneecap out. Just in case. And it is kind of like he's freaking out a lot. And, she does have to remind him, like, you're a cop. And maybe it's a part of him, the whole Spec Ops thing, because they don't talk about it. They kind of mentioned this before. How come he was let go from the Spec Ops stuff? And he's like, oh, it's classified. Maybe the classified thing is that he had, like, a dishonorable discharge. I don't know if that's technically the term when you're in Spec Ops. But as far as, him now just being a simple beat cop, maybe that's what it was. It was like his anger issues, and it's kind of all been brought back because now he's gone through all that stuff with Trish, and it's like he thought he killed someone, which he may have actually done in the past quite a few times, and he's, had kind of moved on from that lifestyle, and then he thought he did it again without even being in control. Because he mentions, when he's talking to Trish, like, I never, or maybe it was when he was talking out with Jessica, but he says, like, I've done a lot of really, I think he specifically said really evil things, but he never wanted to kill an innocent person. So I'm pretty sure he's killed quite a few people before, and now it's kind of all coming back because of what he was forced to do by Killgrave. So now he's kind of regressed a little to what he kind of used to be, when he was with the Spec Ops. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a big thing where they're going to have to really stop him from snapping. So it might happen in the next episode. I don't really know when the next really big confrontation is going to be, but I'm looking forward to it. This was a really fun episode. Always love a good flashback one because it's just like, you don't waste time with flashbacks. Here's what happened. Here's some random important thing. Boom, it's done in a flashback. That's how we get our answers, and that's it. There's no maybe this little bit of that. It's like, this is exactly what happened. Here's some answers. Here's what happened this way, that way, done. So love a good flashback episode. It definitely made me think of Daredevil before because of their flashback episode. Made me think of the Avocados at Law for some reason. I was just like, oh, the flashbacks, Avocados at Law. But I did enjoy this episode. I'm looking forward to the next one. They're going to have to basically find him all over again. He's probably going to go into hiding, or maybe he won't. He mentioned before Trish is safe when he sent the little girl at Jessica. So Trish is safe for now. He doesn't really know about Luke. I would assume because there are no pictures of him. So he doesn't know about Luke. Said Trish was safe. He doesn't know Simpson because he didn't. Well, he may have actually seen him, so he might try to come after him again because he was kind of looking right in his direction. So I don't know if that means anything, if he will actually remember. But he doesn't say anything on the phone. But at the same time, he can also tell anyone to do whatever he wants, and he still let Jessica go because he's insane and he wants to torture her. So who knows? Guy's freaking crazy. But I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and how do you guys think they're gonna get Killgrave again? Because this was pretty much it. It was like, we know the pattern he has. The pattern's gone. He could be at anyone's house. He was in some little room. So he's just somewhere in New York. Obviously, it's going to be in New York City, so it's not like all of New York. But he could just pretty much be wherever, and then they just have to find a way to, find him and, knock him out and put him somewhere inside that crazy exfil case or whatever they called it, that crazy location, and knock him out, put him in there. No one can hear anything that he can say or whatever. But I want to know your speculations, how you guys think they're going to get to him, and how they're going to stop him again. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.